everyone, and welcome back to the channel. When you think of Alaska, what comes to mind? Probably snow, maybe some grizzly bears, and a whole lot of wilderness, right? Well, you're not wrong, but that's just scratching the surface of America's last frontier. Today, we rediving deep into some truly mind-blowing facts about what life is really like in this incredible state. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll see Alaska in a whole new light. So let's start with something that affects daily life more than anything else: the sun, or the lack of it. In the northernmost parts of Alaska, like in Utqiagvik, the sun sets in November and doesn't rise again for about 65 days. That's over 2 months of darkness. Can you imagine that? They call it the polar night. It's not pitch black 24/7. There's a period of twilight each day, but no direct sunlight. On the flip side, in the summer, they get the midnight sun, where the sun doesn't set for over 80 days. You could be mowing your lawn or going for a hike at 2 a.m. under broad daylight. It completely messes with your internal clock, and blackout curtains are an absolute necessity if you ever want to get some sleep. Now, how do you get around in a state that is more than twice the size of Texas, but has fewer roads than a small city? Well, for many Alaskans, flying isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. Alaska has 6 times more pilots per capita than any other state in the US. Small bush planes are like the family minivan here. They're used for everything: getting groceries, visiting relatives in the next village, going to a doctor's appointment, or just commuting to work. There are over 700 registered airstrips, but a lot of landings happen on lakes, rivers, glaciers, or even just a flat patch of tundra. It's a completely different way of thinking about transportation. Forget traffic jams. Here, you worry about weather conditions and finding a safe place to land. Let's talk about neighbors. In most places, a neighbor might be a few feet away. In Alaska, your neighbor could be 20 miles down a gravel road or in the next valley over. The sense of community, however, is incredibly strong. Because you're so isolated, you have to rely on each other. If your car breaks down in the middle of nowhere at 20 below, you depend on the kindness of the next person to drive by. People are self-reliant, yes, but they also have this unspoken agreement to look out for one another. It builds a unique bond that's hard to find in the bustling cities of the lower 48. And what about groceries? You can't just run to the corner store for a gallon of milk when the nearest store is a 45-minute flight away. In remote villages, groceries are often flown in, which makes them incredibly expensive. A gallon of milk could cost $10, and a bag of chips might be $8. Because of this, many Alaskans are masters of subsistence living. They hunt, they fish, they forage. A freezer full of moose meat and salmon isn't just a hobby. It's a way of ensuring you have food for the winter. Gardening is also huge, but it comes with its own set of challenges. The short, intense growing season, thanks to that midnight sun, can produce some giant vegetables. Seriously, there are state fair competitions for 100-pound cabbages and 60-pound zucchinis. It's pretty wild. Let's address the wildlife. It's not like a zoo. The animals are everywhere. It's not uncommon to have a moose wander through your backyard, munching on your prize-winning cabbages, or to have to stop your car for a family of bears crossing the road. Alaskans have a deep respect for wildlife because they live alongside it every single day. They know which berries are safe to eat and which aren't, how to read bear tracks, and how to tell if a moose is feeling grumpy. It's practical, essential knowledge. You learn to carry bear spray like you would your phone or wallet, and you always make noise when you're hiking. One of the coolest and perhaps most unique aspects of living in Alaska is the PFD, or the Permanent Fund Dividend. Every year, eligible Alaskans receive a check from the state's Oil Wealth Investment Fund. The amount varies each year, but it can be over $1,000 per person. So a family of 4 could receive a check for $4,000 or $5,000, just for being residents. People use it for all sorts of things: paying bills, saving for college, buying a new snow machine, or taking a much-needed vacation to somewhere with a little more sunshine in the winter. Now, let's talk about the cold. Yes, it gets cold. Very cold, but Alaskans are prepared. It's all about the layers. You don't just throw on one big heavy coat. You have a base layer, a mid-layer of fleece or wool, and then a waterproof and windproof outer shell. Your car has an engine block heater that you plug into an electrical outlet at night to keep the oil from turning to sludge. Schools rarely close for snow. They might, however, close for extreme cold, like if it hits 40 or 50 below zero, or if there's a moose on the loose. On the playground, that's a real reason for a recess to be held indoors. And the northern lights, the aurora borealis. For many of us, seeing them is a once-in-a-lifetime bucket list item. For many Alaskans, it's a beautiful perk of the long, dark winters. Imagine stepping outside your house on a clear, cold night and seeing the sky literally dancing with green, purple, and pink light. People have aurora alerts on their phones, and it's not unusual for friends to call each other late at night and say, "Hey, the lights are out. You gotta see this." It's a magical phenomenon that never really gets old, even when you see it all the time. Finally, did you know that Alaska has over 100,000 glaciers? That's more than in the rest of the inhabited world combined. These massive rivers of ice are constantly moving and changing the landscape. You can hike on them, kayak up to their towering faces, and even hear the incredible booming sound they make when huge chunks of ice calve off into the water. It's a powerful and humbling reminder of the raw, untamed nature that defines this state. Living in Alaska means living in a world that is still being shaped by immense natural forces. So from 2 months of darkness and giant vegetables to flying for groceries and getting an annual check from the government, life in Alaska is anything but ordinary. It's a place of extremes, challenges, and unparalleled beauty. It requires a spirit of adventure, a strong sense of community, and a deep respect for the wild. What do you think? Could you handle life on the last frontier? Let me know which of these facts blew your mind the most in the comments below. I love reading your thoughts. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this journey to the far north, please give this video a big thumbs up and make sure you resubscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss our next adventure. Until then, stay curious.